Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope आप सब ठीक होंगे. So today here we are with another hero, Professor Zafar Durrani, जिनका 44 years का education का experience है. Not only in Burnhall बल्कि different institutes में उन्होंने पढ़ाया है. सर जफर दुरानी का घर जो है वो बिल्कुल पीएमए काकुल के साथ है. इट्स रिस्ट्रिक्टेड एरिया, तो यहाँ हर कोई नहीं आ सकता, हर किसी का एक्सेस नहीं होता. तो उसके लिए सर जफर दुरानी हमें बाहर लेने आए गेट तक, और फिर हमें उन्होंने इंटरव्यू के बाद दोबारा ड्रॉप भी किया. सो आई एम रियली ग्रेटफुल कि उन्होंने हमें इतना फैसिलिटेट किया. अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर, क्या हाल है?
Walaikum assalam.
सर आप ठीक हैं?
I'm fine. So happy to see all of you here.
तो सर थोड़ा सा वी वांट टू नो अबाउट योर जर्नी. आप थोड़ा सा हमें बताएं, फ्रॉम वेयर यू बिलोंग, कहाँ से आपकी एजुकेशन कहाँ से हुई?
My parents, they were from Kashmir, both Jammu city and Srinagar city. In fact, my grandfather, great great grandfather, and great great grandfather, they are buried in Jammu. So my parents, my father, he was Deputy Commandant Gilgit Scouts in 1947, and he was the coup leader there. So after that coup, he joined Pakistan Army in 48. So then he shifted to Pakistan. We didn't have a house in Pakistan anyway. So in 1955, he was posted to Ahmedabad. So in 55, he bought this land on which this house is built, and he built a house in 57 or 58. That I can't remember exactly. So, but first time we came into this house was in 1961 when I was in Burnhall in 7th class, senior section mein, and I have studied and believe it or not, 13 different schools from Malir Kent to Bardan.
Okay, that's right.
Mostly the schools in which I studied only for 1 year each. And then finally, my father retired in 1969, and we shifted permanently into this house. Since 69, we have been living in this house in Kakul.
Okay.
Then I did my MSc Physics from Government College Ahmedabad, and my graduation was from Sialkot. I did my graduation from Murray College and Islamia College, both the colleges I had to attend for some reasons. So then, when my father retired, came here in '69, I joined Government College Ahmedabad, from where I did my MSc in 1972. So after that, I kept on doing farming with my father. He had a farm in Gujranwala, so I kept on doing. Then I joined a commercial bank in '74. I remained with that bank until the end of '77, and then on January '78, I joined Burnhall as a teacher in physics, as a lecturer in physics. I have only one daughter. She's sitting right in front, and she's in 10th class now. My missus, she belongs to the Jazoon family from Kehal, Ahmedabad, and we are, mashallah, 9 brothers and sisters, 5 brothers, 4 sisters. I am the third eldest.
Okay.
My elder brother, he was in the army as a major, and then my elder sister, she was my classmate from 7th class onward, so she lives in Karachi. And just so that you may know, 5 of our brothers and sisters, they have taught in Burnhall. Myself, my elder sister, Nishat Durrani, and then my younger sister, Yasmin Durrani, she taught biology in senior school. Then myself, and then my youngest sister, Noreen Durrani, she taught English in Burnhall. I don't recollect the year she was in. I joined Burnhall in '78, January '78, and at that time, Colonel B.A. Malik was the principal. He selected me, and from day one when I joined Burnhall, I have been teaching O-level physics, and later on A-level also came in. But myself, I have taught in all the classes from 7th right up till 2nd year. So then, in end of '81, I left Burnhall and I joined PhD classes in Punjab University Lahore, but I couldn't continue because of financial reasons. So I came back and rejoined Burnhall in '83. Then, end of '83, I left Burnhall and went to Tripoli, Libya, where I was vice principal of Pakistan Community School and College, and I remained there for 3 years up till end of '77. Sorry, 87. I'm sorry. And then for 1 year in 1988, I was not at home. I didn't join anything. And then Brigadier Zahur, he again brought me back to Burnhall, and I joined Burnhall again in '89, and I remained in Burnhall up till end of 2012. I retired in 2012, but then they again called me back in 2013, and I remained there up till end of 2016. So, but in between also in '89, I joined PF College Sargodha as an instructor, but I couldn't stay there for long. I only remained there for about 6 months because my mother, she was not very well. She was very sick, and she used to say all my sons are gone and I'm alone at home. So I resigned my commission. I was commissioned there as a flight lieutenant in education branch. I resigned my commission and I came back and rejoined Burnhall in '89. So that is where I left Burnhall. Then I remained principal of Army Public School at a center from 2016 up till end of middle of 2018. That is where I have been teaching, and otherwise now I am retired and I am at home. From the very beginning, I always wanted to do my master's in physics, and believe it or not, there was a 6 year gap. I left as a student in '72, and I joined Burnhall in '78. And before joining Burnhall, I had no teaching experience. In fact, I was a manager in a commercial bank during that time. So, but when I joined Burnhall, I didn't have any difficulty. In fact, my first class in physics, O-level physics, Dr. Amir, he was one of my students there. But there were quite a few other students. They are exceptional students, believe it or not. And my first O-level result was also exceptional. I think 17 out of 23 students got 1 point in physics. Previously, you see, their grading was not like that. In Cambridge, there were point scores. The best student used to get 1, then 2 to 3 like that, and the lowest grade was grade 6. Even now, sometimes my colleagues in Burnhall, they approach me when they get stuck in some problems. So they approach me and they ask me, how do we do this thing? So I'm still, even though I have stopped teaching.
Sir, anything you want to share from your teaching experience?
Yes, definitely. You see, I have learned this thing. You have to literally go down to the level of the students to be a good teacher. You have to literally be a part of them, and then that is how the students, they do not feel left out. They feel at home because I always told them, simply just consider yourself as my own brothers or sisters, and that is why they never had any problem. Even though some of the students previously we were allowed corporal punishment, in spite of that, we didn't have any problem. Believe it or not, when I joined Burnhall, I was 26 years old, right? And most of my students, they were hardly 5-6 years younger, maybe 17-18 years old. So the gap was very small, but I still remember I took my students to Pinstech in Pakistan Atomic and Education. So there, the receptions that was there. So I was standing with my students, all of them, and I was wearing exactly the same dress as my students were wearing. They asked, "Where is your teacher. I kept quiet. I didn't say anything. So one of the students, I still remember, said, "Okay, the person with whom you are talking, the student with whom you are talking, he is actually our teacher." So believe me, as far as the physical appearance was there was no difference between me and the student. You have to be at the same mental level as the students. If you see, if you behave, you are an elder and they are the younger ones, it doesn't work. Some of the most outstanding things which you might be knowing, one was Azam Khan. He was principal secretary to Imran Khan. He was basically from Charsadda or Swabi, and believe me, I have yet to come across a more outstanding student. There are others also. Dr. Amar Swail, again an outstanding student. He's he's a medical specialist who has his own clinic now. Then there are others also. Some were in the army. ठीक है, you might believe it or not, uh, just a few months up till I think a year back, there were 6 students of mine, all in uniform and all lieutenant generals. Right? So that is a record in the army also. From the same institution, 6 serving lieutenant generals, and 2 of them were classmates also. Hassan, General Hassan Azhar Hayat and Muhammad Ali. At least I have 3 students who are sort of honors from Royal Military Academy in England. You see, the students who were there with me when I joined Burnhall, they were extremely anxious to learn. They were extremely anxious, and they would, believe me, I used to go in the afternoons for games in Burnhall. So they used to be waiting there for me to go there, and they used to ask, we want to know about this thing or this topic or this topic. So that is missing now, right? But as far as Burnhall is concerned, I can tell you this thing. I have visited many different schools. They don't compare anywhere near Burnhall. I've seen it in many other schools. The teachers, they remain aloof from their students. So in my case, it was not like that. I never remained aloof. Many a times it happened. I punished a student, and then after in the break or anyway, I used to call him and I told him, I have done this thing not for any other reason, but just for one reason. Manika, maybe you might have never been punished by your parents, but your parents have given you in my charge. And if I see anyone not behaving properly or not going by the standard that we want them to be, so I have just one option, and that is to punish. I can tell you this thing. Look there outside the burn hall. So many students are going around of different schools. Do I say anything to them? No. But why should do I correct you or what? Because your parents have given your legacy to me. You are like an amanat to me, and I can't be indifferent to anything that you do which is not appropriate. That is the difference. Yes, it's not about Bernal, but I'll just tell you. You see, I was in Tripoli, Libya. So when I went there, so I had not yet been made the vice president. So one day, I told my colleagues and all that not to allow any children to go to drinking water or bathroom during the periods. Maybe at the end of the period, so one fine day, I saw a student drinking water in the middle of the period. So I went down, and even though he was not, I think he was from class one. So I gave him a slight slap, and I told him, "Why are you here and why are you drinking water?" So he went back to his class, and hardly any 10 to 15 minutes gone, the same student came and started drinking water. So I went down again, listen, I just told you to go back to class. You're not supposed to go, and why are you coming again? So I slapped him. He went back, and in the recess, their class teacher came, and the class teacher had both the boys standing next to each other. They were twins. I was taken aback. Then he said, yeah, don't mind it. I have come to show you this thing. They are twins, and one drank the water before, and this was the second one. And so I just and unfortunately, you see, one of the students he died. He was electrocuted. The parents of that student became my friends. ठीक है, they were from Haripur. I kept in touch with them. So then I heard this terrible news. What happened was that student, he was grown up, he was studying. He put a carpet on the balcony of the house, and just outside the balcony there was high tension electric wire. That wet carpet touched it, and that boy was electrocuted. So it was terrible for the parents because they were twins. Now the one of them passed away. Many of the parents of my students, I still am in contact with them, even though 40 years have passed away. I was in Lahore, 16th of November. There was a gathering of ex-students of Tripoli, Libya. I went into that convention hall and I stood near the entrance. Some of the students, they came and they were jumping with joy. Oh, Sir Durrani is here. When I asked them, now 36 years have gone by since I came back to her. So I asked them in which class they were when I was there. So they said we were in class 1 in Pakistan Community School, Tripoli, Libya. There was no prep class. There was no nursery. Students started with class 1. So they were in class 1, and when they came into that convention hall and they said, so I was taken by, I had tears in my eyes. They remembered me even after 37 years. They recognized me, and they were joyful when they saw me. So that was really something for me. You see, I came across a very important person in a big corporation, and while I was talking with him, he found out that I am from Burnhall. So he came to me and he asked me, what is there in Burnhall that all other schools in Pakistan doesn't have? So I said, I can't say anything much about it, but one thing I can tell you that since I've been in Burma for a long time, somehow the grooming of the students is very different from all other institutions. And then he told me this thing, believe it or not, when I receive applications for jobs in my corporation, and when it is written that the boy is from Burnhall, I don't take his interview. I simply select him because I know he will not let me down. So that credit goes to Burnhall. I keep on visiting Burnhall because you see, many of my colleagues, we have been together for maybe 25 years or more. So I still go there, and believe me, some of the students now, they are in second year. When I left, now so they come running to me and they wish me, and it makes my heart bigger. Okay. They still give lots of regard to me when I visit Burnhall.
वेरी नाइस एंड वेरी प्रिसाइज सर, आपने 4 डिकेड्स की जर्नी जो है उसको बहुत अच्छा प्रिसाइज किया अपनी जर्नी को, एंड आई एम ग्लैड कि आपने हमें टाइम दिया, और थैंक यू सो मच. इट इज अ बिग ऑनर फॉर अस सर. I wish also to thank you for coming here and giving your precious time to come and interview me. It's really a very big thing for me.